For those who've been following my videos for pretty much since the channel started, you probably saw that video I made years ago of a crafting and inventory system that I was working on. And at the time, it looked super basic. It was kind of pretty simplistic, not much to it. And that was it. I kind of made it. I wanted to show off something I was proud of. I thought nothing more of it. Now, over the years, I kept coming back to this to kind of improve the code base. And eventually I just decided to, heck, let's just make an actual thing out of it. So I want to kick this off by just showing you what's here so far. And so kick off the bat, we have two things here where you can harvest. Now you'll notice what I'm about to show you is very similar to a tutorial video that I made a while back. Yeah, that is right. I'm using the harvesting system from the tutorial series that I built a couple months ago, maybe a year ago now. And so on the left, we have what's called progressive harvest. This is, you left click, you get a harvest menu, look away, it resumes your progress. Keep clicking, and eventually you consume the item. Now, what happens when you consume the item, if you press I, you have the inventory system that was part of that original video, a little bit improved, and you have the item itself. Now, you'll notice that this kind of goes off screen. That is a bug. One day that will be fixed. It was kind of existent back then as well. This item can be moved around your inventory, drag, dropped, and it can be dragged and dropped into the world, and it'll simply become a pickup, which you can press E on and add it right back. Now you'll notice there's also timed harvest. This acts more similar to what you'd see out of RuneScape systems. You click and it'll start a countdown timer. When that timer's done, you get an item. In this case, a copper ore block. Now if I were to look away and cancel the timer, and I look back, it resets. Very similar again to RuneScape system. And this just provides an alternative to how you'd like to go about harvesting. Now, you'll also notice that on the screen there are 3 meters, a health, a food, and a thirst meter. How it works is that hunger and health, or hunger and thirst, will go down progressively over time, and they go down based on their own individual stats. And if either of them reach 0, or if both reach 0, they'll start degrading health, and if they both hit 0, they'll both damage health, which makes you die quite quickly. What you can do to kind of counteract this is look for food or look for water. Now, I have 2 objects on the floor, and while I'm not an artist, so I don't exactly have a model for everything, I have water and I have shrimp respectively. Now, as you can see, I am clearly the greatest artist that has ever lived, and these are perfect raw shrimp art models. If I look at my inventory, you can see that it is impeccably done, definitely the same. Now, before I consume this and show you that you can indeed consume items from your inventory, I'd like to show you what happens when these meters hit 0. Now, it happens pretty quick because they're both about to hit 0 at the same time, in which case I will die very, very fast. Actually, you know what, while it's going, I might as well show you how to consume, let's say shrimp. So in your inventory, consumables can be consumed by right click, and notice that food goes up a little bit. And a little bit of a kind of a quirky message. Didn't do a whole lot because raw shrimp is not exactly the greatest subsistence. But now that I hit 0, I am dying quite fast. Now, what happens if you die, you say? Well, thankfully I wanted to add a game loop, so if you die, the game resets. Simple as that. And just to kind of demonstrate, if you pick up some water, you can also consume it with right click. You'll notice that my thirst is full currently. If it goes down, I think water does 15. So if that goes down below 15, it will replenish you. Another thing I want to show off as well while we're here is that you might have noticed the lighting slowly changing and the shadows growing smaller and farther away. If you look up, you'll notice the sun's actually rising. A part of my push to try to give myself some kind of artistic experience was I wanted to add a very, very basic and beginner-esque day-night cycle, just to have some kind of thing there. Now, I won't say that I handcrafted the system from scratch and I'm the brilliant mind behind it. I definitely followed the tutorial, and I will be putting that in the description below just for others to be able to follow. It is quite nice. It's going a bit slow, but when it does hit kind of the horizon line, it will start becoming the evening lighting and then eventually bleeds into nighttime lighting. And it is a very welcome change to have. Now, the next major thing I want to show off is something that was in the original video, but has been improved quite a bit over the years. And that is the crafting system. Most of the time, and really the core thing that kept me from making more videos on this, was simply that all my work went into improving the code base for this. It never actually made much of a visible difference. But I want to start off with, I want to go to the furnace, the home place of any kind of miner, blacksmith, or anything like that. Here is the new refined UI. And how it works, as I said before in my original video, or I guess I demonstrated because I didn't talk in the original video. You have your recipe list. This will grow and become a scroll box list if you have a whole bunch of them. You click it and it'll update the information that is here. You have your icon, description, and a growable list or scalable list of all possible requirements, the amount that is required, and the amount that you have in your inventory currently. And eventually a craft button that will be engaged when you have the required items. We'll notice that I have 0 of 1. So let's go find ourselves some ore. And just because I'm about to die, let's pick up a couple resources. Consume some water, you'll notice that goes up pretty quick. And raw shrimp just gets us a little bit better. So I'm gonna grab some ore. I'm gonna grab some wood. And let's go craft ourselves some copper bars. You'll notice now the craft button is being engaged. We're gonna click that. You'll notice it's gonna reduce it by 1. If we open up our inventory, we now have copper bars, which is sweet. But what can we do with copper bars? Just to kind of see, let's click another one. Yeah, a couple more. There are 3. So for those RuneScapers in the room, you'll most likely realize, copper bar, anvil, those seem like they go together. You would be correct. Let's go to the anvil, and now we have a whole new interface. Well, same interface, different data within. Same kind of long list of items. None of these have been filled in. Ooh, I'm about to die. Now we'll let it reset, but none of these have been filled in except for copper short sword, which we'll craft in just a second. The game is not giving me any mercy, even though I'm the one who built the thing. That's okay. We can give you a chance to demonstrate the system again. Come up, quickly craft, close, come over, boom, already there. So, what we need to do is make sure we have this one selected. We need 1 copper bar, 1 oak logs, click craft, and when we craft, we now have an uncommon weapon. Now you'll notice that the uncommon part is turned green. How this works is the rarity text is colorized depending on the rarity itself. If it is common, it is white, uncommon is green. I think there is like a rare, which is blue, and I have a couple other tiers as well that you can have colorized. And basically all you need to do is set the rarity and it will colorize for you, which is a nice little feature to have. And that's currently where the project is at. You'll notice that there is a world, there are some trees, there's some water, there is a kind of ugly looking mountain, and this is where we're kind of expanding to. If you look around, this was a test level that I built to kind of make myself feel better in that for basically the entirety of this project's lifecycle, it's been this one island, and I felt like I wanted to see a few more islands, so it's adding to it, but that's kind of the current state of this project. Yeah, thank you so much for listening, and if you have any thoughts or ideas on the project, I would love to hear them in the comment section below. As always, I'll see you in the next one.